Next on News 5 at 9, you're going to be meeting Dr. Lonnie Burnett. And I want to first of all say that, Dr. Burnett, you are at the University of Mobile.
Yes, correct, right.
An instructor there in the history department.
Yes, that's right, correct.
Also a very active author. Now, we're going to talk about two books eventually, but the book at the moment is The Confederate Propagandist, Henry Hoates. And there is a book signing tomorrow night that you may be interested in, especially after you hear about both books. But that is tomorrow night at the Museum of Mobile. We'll be giving you some information on that as we move through. But this is tomorrow night. It costs $10 if you're not a member.
Right, $10 for guests.
But you get to move through the museum and then also get to meet Dr. Burnett. This is a kind of a provocative title. Henry Hoates, probably most people have not heard of him. There's the information right there, 5:30 to 7 tomorrow night. Most people have not heard of him, but Confederate propagandist. This man, as you will describe, had this, and he has a Mobile connection as well.
This is a very strange case because this man only lived in America for a total of 10 years. He's born in Switzerland. He comes to Mobile when he's a very young man, about 18, 19 years old. He mingles with Mobile society, and he becomes a staunch supporter of the Confederacy, so much so when the war breaks out, he's sent by the Confederate government to Europe, where he publishes a Confederate paper in London to try and influence people there.
So he's trying to get British support for the Confederacy.
The South figures their best hope of winning the war is to have intervention from either England or France, and Hoates is trying to persuade these people to do that.
So looking back, luckily he obviously was not successful at that.
No, he was not. He was not successful. Never got the recognition. The paper lasted about 4 years, and he never returned to America. He stayed in Europe. He's here only for 10 years. He died in Switzerland at I think, 1888. Never came back to America.
So and your book documents the life of this man and his efforts. Now, in Mobile, did he have a particular job or position?
He did. In Mobile, he actually worked for the Mobile Register. He worked for John Forsyth, who's the subject of the other book. He's an associate editor for a couple of years and worked in the actually worked in the campaign of 1860, the Lincoln-Douglas campaign. He worked in Mobile with Forsyth, and he joined the Mobile Cadets. He served a few months in the Confederate Army in 1861. Then he gets the appointment to Europe.
So a fascinating book and some insight into the Civil War. I want to talk about the book next to this. Now, this is an early publication by Dr. Burnett on Forsyth's first name.
John Forsyth.
John Forsyth. And this man was kind of Mr. Mobile about the time of the Civil War.
Right.
Was mayor.
Yes, and he's the opposite of Forsyth, of Holt, I'm sorry. He is in Mobile for about 40 years. He's a seventh-generation Southerner. His father was governor of Georgia. Forsyth County in Georgia is named for his father. He was the editor of the Mobile paper for about 30 years. He's mayor twice, was U.S. minister to Mexico, held many, many jobs here, and died in Mobile in 1877. So he's here for many, many years in Mobile.
An interesting view of the Confederacy. Now you had mentioned to me beforehand that he had quite an interesting role in the 1860 presidential election.
Correct. Forsyth was one of the few Southern people that supported Stephen Douglas. Most Southerners went for John Breckinridge. He's the pro-slavery candidate. Forsyth was more of a moderate in that he supports Stephen Douglas. Douglas, most folks in Mobile don't realize this, actually carried Mobile County. Mobile was full of Northerners, yes. And a little trivia, Stephen Douglas actually spent election night in 1860 at the Battle House Hotel. He's here as a guest of Forsyth in Mobile.
For heaven's sakes.
Yes.
All right, now this is so we're really talking about two books, and if I bring the other book, I can get that signed too tomorrow night.
Absolutely, sure.
All right, a couple of books, they are available, I understand, where?
Local bookstores, Oakley has the books, Mobile Museum, our University of Mobile has them, of course.
All right, and you can buy them tomorrow night.
Sure.
Again, we're going to try to show you that graphic with a phone number for more information. 5:30 to 7, Museum of Mobile, and Dr. Lonnie Burnett from University of Mobile.
Right.
Congratulations.
Right, thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Good, thanks for having me.
We'll be right back.
Good.